Hey, welcome to another video from Just Two Dudes. My name's Louie.
My name's Seth.
Alright. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to have two videos. Each of them probably going to be about 13-14 minutes long, just on the Texas game. I hope you guys will check them both out. I promise you they're going to be really entertaining. We've got a lot of things to say, and we're sorry that it's this late in the week that we're getting this on. I've been pretty busy myself at work, and I've probably been a little too pissed off to go find it.
We finally rewatched the game enough to really understand some things too. And
we're gonna have a lot of different subjects to talk about, and we're gonna be all over the place. But I promise, if you watch both videos, they'll be entertaining, and we'll probably say some stuff that you agree with, disagree with as well.
And we'll probably answer some questions some of you have.
But we think we have a lot of stuff that you're not going to see in the newspaper because
they have to be nice.
Yeah, because they have to be nice. But anyway, we're just going to start out with a few things. I, for one, think that Sean Watson actually called a good game. I thought he had an equal amount of passes in there when Texas showed that they were going to take the run game away. I think the passes were called at appropriate times. I think Taylor Martinez and Zach Lee threw some excellent balls. I think the pass protection held up extremely well. I think the wide receivers actually ran good routes. We just dropped the ball. We
just didn't make the plays necessary to win a football game. Now, keep in mind, Texas did drop 2 touchdowns also, but, well, one was a little question. One would have been a great catch. All of ours were right here. And it's just one of those things where when a quarterback's having a rough day, like, they took Taylor Martinez out of what he does, enough that he got yanked. When your quarterback's having that bad of a day doing what he does best, and he puts the ball right here, Rex Burkhead, Niles Paul, when he puts it right here for you, you gotta come up with that. Especially 2 drops inside the 10-yard line.
And what sucks about that is Taylor Martinez got pulled. And Niles Paul didn't get pulled. Brandon Kinney didn't get pulled.
Well, I just think that's...
Taylor Martinez did. Part of that was because they wanted a spark. They weren't blaming Taylor Martinez.
Right.
They just knew they needed something to happen.
Well, I think another thing why Taylor Martinez got pulled is because Taylor Martinez was making wrong reads in the zone read game. He was trying to make
He does that constantly all game long, but most of the time we're playing against teams to where
he can make up for it.
He makes up for it. He constantly makes the wrong reads.
And I honestly think this is one of those games that we had questions. Taylor Martinez, can he win us games based on if making adjustments and understanding and having a maturity about him that says, okay, I'm not going to get any rushing yards this game. I need to make better reads. I think for this game, if Zach Lee starts, I think we win this game.
I do too, because Zach Lee was willing to come in and realize, hey, I'm not going to bust off the 80-yarder, the 50-yarder, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 4 yards, I'm going to get 5 yards, I'm going to hand it off to Roy, who can get 5, 6, I can hand it off to Rex. And keep in mind, when Zach Lee came in, he got the ball at the 6-yard line, marched us all the way down the field. And before he came in, we had 2 first downs. Before he came into the game,
he doubled and tripled that drive.
And because Zach Lee was willing to come in and just play smart football.
And
he took us all the way down the field, had a drop touchdown. Niles Paul wide open.
Niles Paul dropped a touchdown, and then later on, Brandon Kinney dropped a touchdown.
Well, everybody knows about the drop touchdowns. I'm just saying that when Zach came in, the score was 20-3. He took us down the field. We should have had a touchdown. We didn't, and we kicked a field goal. But I agree. If Zach Lee starts that football game, we win.
Here's one thing. I think Taylor Martinez, a little bit, I saw him kept trying to get to the outside every play. Zach Lee gashed them up the middle and a little bit off tackle, not completely outside. I think Martinez got frustrated with not being so much faster than what he's used to. Because Texas, we all know the type of recruits they get and the type of talent they have on that roster. they had the speed to contain and stop him. And I think Taylor just forced it too much instead of having a maturity about him.
Right.
But the other thing is can we really expect a freshman quarterback to have that?
Absolutely.
My thing is if you're starting,
if he's
yes.
going to be great, he needs to.
Yes.
We do have somebody that asked us a question about yanking Taylor Martinez. I'm not sure how to say your user tag, but I think it's Pasno something. Anyway, I think we should have yanked Taylor Martinez. I think we should have yanked him much earlier in the game. Not necessarily based on his performance, but just for a spark.
Yes.
Because that was a Texas team that we could beat.
I think Zach Lee should have came out in the second half.
Right.
Instead of a little bit through the third. He needed to come out right away.
Yeah.
Because I think the offense was better with Zach Lee in the game.
Oh, obviously. Okay, let's get to this. I personally think for the first time in quite a while, the defense let us down. I think the defensive coaches let us down.
Yep.
I was terribly saddened by the fact that Ricky Tenarch still tries to come up, and instead of tackling people, he tries to lower that shoulder of his. And after he did it one time to allow a bunch of yards, I kind of always wonder why a player like that is left in the game, because all he did is do it a couple more times.
Yes. I counted when I rewatched the game later that night. He missed 3 tackles for 73 yards after the missed tackle. 73 yards
and
after you blow a tackle. Yeah. Just because you're trying to come in with the big hit. That's what he always has done. Right. That's why he's always hurt. That's why he dislocates his shoulder every year.
That's what I'm trying to say. The defensive coaches also let us down.
If he's... I remember he was in a battle. He was in a 3-way battle for playing time with Anthony West, P.J. Smith, who missed a bunch of tackles also. Right. But it's kind of one of those things that if we have so much depth in the secondary, why wasn't he pulled?
Right. It's an excellent point. I don't know why he wasn't either. As far as the defense goes, Junior here has been bitching and crying all year long to no avail about our rush defense. I kept telling him it's not going to matter. The rush defense, we're going to be ahead in these games to where if teams want to run the ball, let them get 5-6 yards a carry.
Which I think we'd have games where that was
the rush defense is officially a problem now. Mac Brown is now 67-0 when his teams rush for 200 yards.
Yeah.
Which, Mac Brown. And when we give up 209 teams to a team that coming into the game, no one was worried about the rushing attack.
Yes.
They had a big lumbering quarterback who looked like a refrigerator with feet running down the field.
Yeah.
And he made us look absolutely silly at times. Yeah. I guess part of that is why at no point in time in the game was there adjustments made.
The only adjusting it seemed like they did was substituting players and putting players a couple more in the box.
Right.
If a team is running that much against you, why is there not 3 linebackers on the field? If that's because Bo doesn't trust them, because the lack of quality depth that we have there. There's depth, but it's not quality yet.
Well,
and I think he used Dejon Gomes and Eric Hagg as backers. Now I know that's Eric Hagg. He's the peso. That's what he's supposed to do. But there has to come a time when all the offense is going to do is run the ball on you and occasionally take shots. If our DBs, our 2 corners, are as good as we think and the coaches say they are, why is there not 3, even 4 people in the box behind the lineman? Why is there not 8?
Well, because
linebackers, not DBs, not hybrids, linebackers.
Because if your 2 corners are all world and they're as good as you say they are, you know, that allows you to stuff the box, because if they want to drop back and pass, you should be able to protect. You should be able to cover their wide receivers.
This is off topic, but
this is not. No, we can't get off subject here.
Well,
this is not the Texas wide receivers that they've had over the last several years. There was no Jordan Shipley on the field the other day. I mean, Prince.
I honestly think Prince and Denard, they didn't need help. If you want to put them on an island, I think they were okay. They might have gotten burned once, But if you're gonna play man on game and you get beat once, that's okay.
Right, because when a team's gashing you with the run and you don't seem to be able to stop it, you need to run a traditional 4-3 or a 5-2, and we didn't. We stayed in that 4-2 set. We stayed in that. We just this D line is not good enough to do that.
Yes.
Which brings me to another thing. I've been saying all year long that when watching the D line, which by the way got blown to smithereens the other day.
That was
it's incredibly painful to watch.
Yes.
But they got blown to pieces.
Manhandled.
Now my take on the defensive line is I think they've been sacrificed this whole year.
Yes.
They're told to give themselves up to free everything up for the linebackers because you don't have experienced linebackers. You don't have linebackers with size, so you need to keep blockers off of them, and that's why the D line's numbers are way down.
You need to block for the linebackers.
Yeah, you need to give yourself up so the linebackers can come up and make the play. Well, that's what I've been saying all year. That the defensive line was just, they had to give themselves up so linebackers could make the play. But now I'm sitting here wondering if the defensive line doesn't have to give themselves up because they're just no good.
Yeah. And that's a very legitimate question.
Yeah, maybe the coaches understood that how to best game plan is to let the linebackers make the play because the D line wasn't going to. We had no pressure on the quarterback. He didn't throw it a whole lot. And he's 4 for 16 in the game, so that means the defensive line is doing something.
Yes.
When the quarterback is 4 for 16. I think
a lot of that has to do with the fact our corners basically run the receivers' routes for them.
I think that also has to do with the fact that you have 5-6 guys back in the secondary too.
Well, and that's absolutely
But that D line, they can't get any pressure on the quarterback. No. On 3rd down and 10, Texas runs the ball right up the middle for a 12-yard gain.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but your D line isn't all that good when that happens.
Yeah, I don't care what type of scheme it is. Your linemen and your backers on 3rd and 10 should never give up a 12-yard run right up the middle.
And I thought up to last week, I thought Pierre Allen, he wasn't putting up great numbers, but he was playing. I'm not going to say spectacular.
He was playing very good team gap defense.
In the confines of the team concept, Pierre Allen was rock solid. But I'm super concerned about this defensive line right now.
Yeah. And I think, and it doesn't get any easier. This week we're playing.
That's another video. A couple things before we get out of here. I just have to say this. The Monday before this game, Mac Brown was quoted in the paper as saying, if we play hard enough, we'll be all right. Mac Brown once again knew that he could beat us no matter what.
We'd just find a way to lose.
And little did we know that it would be a new concept, drop touchdown passes.
Yeah.
But once again, Mac Brown just came in and beat us. We're going to wrap this video up and we're going to get right back in. The second video is going to start right back with Mac Brown, okay?
Yeah.